Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a bit unwell today, but there's a specific video I really wanted us to analyze yesterday. Please allow me to do it now. How Raila Odinga managed to lock William Ruto out of ODM Strongholds in only 9 days. For those who follow the politics of this country, on the 15th day of January 2024, Raila Odinga embarked on a 9-day tour of its ODM strongholds, that is the Luhya Nation and the Coastal Region. Raila Odinga camped in the Luhya Nation for 3 good days, beginning with Busia, Vihiga, and he concluded the tour in Bungoma. Then Raila Odinga moved to Coastal Region for 6 good days. He covered the entire Coastal Region. And at the end of the day, Raila Odinga managed successfully to lock Ruto out of ODM strongholds. And I remember opining on this platform that the objective of the tour were basically 3. The first objective was to consolidate ODM strongholds. You all remember that after the last election, there were demonstrations last year. Then there was the bipartisan talks. Then at the beginning of the year, Kenyans didn't know where the politics was going to take us to. Then from nowhere, on the 2nd day of January, William Ruto attacked the judiciary. And I explained to you guys that William Ruto generally wanted to set the tempo for politics in 2024. In response, Raila Odinga then decided to target its strongholds by going to Vihiga, Busia, and Coastal Region. The second objective was generally to gauge the ground. There's a lot of pressure for Raila Odinga to run for the presidency. But running for the presidency is not about just running for the presidency. Raila Odinga needed to figure out the feeling of his supporters on the ground. And you'll agree with me that the tone of Raila Odinga supporters is that Kalonzo Musyoka is not serious, and therefore Raila Odinga is the only viable candidate as at now. And then the third objective of the tour was generally to reactivate the ODM strongholds. Do you think after the 9-day tour, Raila Odinga has reactivated ODM activities or ODM strongholds or grassroots on the ground? For me, I think it's now perfect. But in this video, I want to reveal to you guys how Raila Odinga managed to lock Ruto out of ODM strongholds in only 9 days. And for us to understand that, I want to play for you guys 2 clips here. The first clip was in Busia, which was the first day of Raila Odinga's tour. I want you to pay very close attention on how the residents of Busia heckled Otuoma and even denied him the chance to speak. There's something I'm driving at, so just watch it very closely until the end.
Tafadhali leo tumekuja kujisajili, tusaidiane mbele ya baba, tuweze kujisajili. Na mimi nawaomba kwamba hii maneno mengine yote mnazungumza tutakuja kufanya. Kwa hayo machache,
wenzangu, wasalimu nyinyi. Na mimi nitakuja kusema bye bye. Tulia kidogo. Haya. Hamtaki niseme kitu? Hamtaki? Haya. Wacha basi oparanya. ODM! ODM! Haya, wacha tuite baba. Hello? 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 Naona muko na hasira na gavana. Nitaongea na yeye. Sawa sawa. Alafu nitarudisha nyinyi habari. Sawa sawa.
Then I also want to play for you this second clip. In this second clip, the Kwale Senator, Juma Boy, is actually apologizing to Raila Odinga for betrayal. Listen into that video, that clip, and tell me why this gentleman was apologizing.
Mheshimiwa Sifuna,
Wana ODM hoye! Na waomba tafadhalini, baba zangu na mama zangu na wanachama wenzangu, niseme nsiseme? Baba, usubuhi mimi nimekuja nikakueleza maneno, lakini leo mbele ya wanachama wenzangu, delegate wenzangu, na waomba msamaha jamani kwa makosa niliyofanya. Naomba msamaha. Wanachama wenzangu, naomba msamaha kwa moyo wangu moja. Nimewakosea najua, lakini hata kama nimewakosea mwana wenu, nimerudi nyumbani nasema poleni kwa ndugu zangu. I love you all. I love you all. I love you all. I love ODM. Baba, nakuomba tena unisamehe mimi mwana wako. Kama nilivyosema usubuhi unisamehe. Asanteni na Mwenyezi Mungu awabariki. Asanteni. Santa kwa kunisikiza na kwa kunisamehe mimi mwana wenu. Mwana akikosea mara ya kwanza huwa ni kosa, mara ya pili huwa ni kusudi. Asanteni sana ndugu zanguni wa Kwale. Asanteni sana. Mungu awabariki. Asanteni sana. Tutakuwa kipamoja, tutatembea pamoja, na kama mimi ninakosea pana pahali ninakosea, njoni mniambie ndugu zanguni. Asante, 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 asante sana. Asante sana. Sasa mwisho nikimalizia, na waahidi kwa sababu nilikuwa nimeongea na mwenyekiti, nitawaita hivi karibuni nyote delegates tukufanye mkutano, niwapatie chai yenu. Asanteni sana.
So in short, Raila Odinga's foray in its strongholds for 9 days actually managed to achieve the objective. The objective of consolidating the ground and the objective of gauging the ground and reactivating the networks. But before we get into all those details, in case you are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, how did Raila Odinga manage to lock Ruto out of ODM Strongholds? Because let's face it, after the last election, William Ruto figured out that the only way to deal with Raila Odinga was to take the war to Raila Odinga's strongholds. I've always explained that he targeted ODM governors. He targeted ODM MPs. In fact, William Ruto even took the war to Raila Odinga's stronghold of Nyanza, where he went and picked some 7 members of parliament to his side. But how did he manage to lock Ruto out of ODM strongholds in 9 days? Number one, timing. Timing is key in politics. Timing is everything. In fact, if there's one thing that William Ruto got wrong, was the timing of his attacks on the judiciary. Because Kenyans were able to rally around the judiciary. And he lost the narrative. But Raila Odinga saw an opportunity that William Ruto became very unpopular in his fight against the judiciary. Because he's forcing some taxes on Kenyans and the judiciary are telling him no. Of course, Kenya Kwanza has also failed in general. But the timing of Raila Odinga was so perfect. He waited for Ruto, made the mistake, Kenyans were attacking him, then he went to the ground. The ground became receptive to Raila Odinga. Receptive. And that's why people like Utuma were heckled. That's why people like Juma Boy were now apologizing. Because on the ground, there is really nothing they can tell people, and people listen to them. So Raila Odinga got the timing right. And that's how now the ground became charged. I can assure you, I've participated in ODM activities. What I witnessed in Busia, though I was not there, is something I used to witness long time ago. And just before that, there was the funeral of ODM chairperson in Migori, for those who might have forgotten. And during that funeral, there are those who are in government. The member of parliament for Rongo Polabur, and the government, for that matter, people like Ray Omolo, tried to block that event from taking place. The truth is, that activity was supposed to take place at Rongo University. Then at night, they said, no event. This burial is not going to take place in this university, because university is a public place. So there was a lot of issues, to an extent that the ground became hostile, to an extent that the MP could not even attend. Remember, Makabongo and Abur are kind of relatives. So the MP could not even attend the burial of his cousin. So it became that hostile. And it charged the ground. The crowd was so agitated that how could these guys block a funeral? What was the funeral of ODM chairperson has to do with UDA or government in Nyanza? So his timing was right. Number two, the second thing which Raila Odinga got right is the idea of checkmates. In fact, if Raila Odinga can checkmate most of these governors, MPs across, then he'll be fine. The reason the Busia governor was heckled was because Raila Odinga has already identified individuals who are campaigning against him, and those individuals are actually gaining the ground. And because the governor has failed, and because he's sleeping with the Kenya Kwanza, it was easier for the audience to refuse to listen to him on very many accounts, that he has failed, that he's a betrayer, and the fact that he was not participating in ODM activities, he was castigating ODM activities. And that checkmate is also what forced, for example, the senator for Kwale to apologize, because he realized that, okay, yeah, ameenda huko, okay, ODM are moving on, okay, my opponents have started coming to the ground on ODM ticket. So the checkmate also worked. In fact, I don't know whether I could be right, but I think William Ruto lost it big time in the coastal region. Number three was that consultative meetings. If you look at the way Raila Odinga's activity was organized, from Busia, from Busia he was in Malaba, he was in Teso, he was in Busia town. I think those three places. But at each point, there was the consultative meeting, bringing all the ODM grassroots supporters, officials that is from the polling station up to that particular sub-county. Massive meeting. And that's what shocked these guys, that, okay, some of us, we thought these ODM guys were with us, kumbe, wamebaki. So you are a senator who is opposing your party, then you realize that everybody in your party is against you. I remember there was a gentleman who delivered a powerful speech attacking the senator for Kwale. In fact, that's what prompted the senator for Kwale to apologize, that hao wametoroka.
Imeshika number 1, si ndio hivyo? Kwa sababu baba, nataka nikuambie hivi, sisi watu wa Msambweni na Kwale kwa jumla, sisi ni watu wa ODM. Kitu kinatuvunja nguvu sisi ni kimoja tu, viongozi wetu waliochaguliwa na ODM wanapiga vita ODM. Mbona seneta unatoka? viongozi waliochaguliwa na tiketi ya ODM. Let me tell you, kama isingekuwa ODM na jina lako, wengine wasingechaguliwa. Wamechaguliwa, they have now changed, wanapiga vita ODM. Wamesahau wajibu wao. We Sifuna, siwe ni senator. You know your role. Siwe ndio unasimamia oversight. Kwale hatuna oversight. Senator ametuacha. And I'm very sorry to say so. Lakini nataka niwaambie.
So the idea of consultative meetings also worked for Raila Odinga. Number 4 was the branding. For the first time, I saw ODM branding in place or in action. For the first time. In the last election, you would not see any ODM branded materials. Kenya was blue. Yeah, no problem. But the kind of branding brought certain sense of belonging to the members. That ndio chama yetu. You know, for those who've been in ODM, there's a way ODM party, there's that feeling of belonging to it. There's the feeling that when you put ODM, the orange color, and you are in a rally, there's something it brings. So that branding also brought the memories of the old days in ODM party. And it worked magic. I just wish Raila Odinga could sustain the branding of ODM wherever he goes. And lastly, there was the presence of ODM electors, the governors. You know, William Ruto has always thrived on using divide and rule, targeting the elected leaders and then leaving Raila with the people. This time around, all the elected leaders, most of them were with Raila. So the moment an elected leader is with Raila and Raila is going for a rally, so most of these leaders will always try to mobilize their supporters to accompany them. And that's why most of these rallies were actually full. Let me add you bonus that in this tour, Raila Odinga also used a strategy called emotional appeal. He appealed to the emotions of his supporters. He appeared as if he's someone who is being betrayed by people he has always trusted. Then it's the rest of the people who then reacted. I don't know what you think, but I think for the first time, Raila Odinga's tour of its stronghold had a huge impact. If he can sustain the tempo, he's going to lock Ruto out of its strongholds. I don't know what you think. That's my take. Until next time, Makwiny. Bye-bye.